Good. I was going to say good evening, but no. It's pretty early in the day. I was just about to go out. And, you know, have you ever had one of those days where you think something's just telling you or stopping you from doing what you need to do, you know? It's like the universe is just conspiring against, yeah, you know, like you've got pushback coming from an invisible force, but you know that there's a reason why. A bit like a twin flame journey. But I'm not here to do a twin flame reading today. No, but it's similar, you know. And it's all connected anyway. No, the Lionsgate portal. This is the energy I'm feeling. So I'm a Leo. I'm in Leo season. And, you know, full moon and there's an eclipse coming. Yeah, like high vibrational, energetic gateway we are in. High, you know, energy pummeling us from every angle, seems like it these days. Yeah, it's intense. And I feel like I'm in between. So, you know, Stranger Things, where the mother can hear the son, you know, from behind the walls, and is lost, isn't he? You know, so, but she knows that, you know, everyone's saying to her, no, you know, he's died, he's all of that and all, you know, but she's like, no, I can hear something, feel something. No, you don't tell me that, you know. She knew, her intuition knew. Yeah, well, my intuition's telling me I'm in the in-between. And there's a reason why. You know, from my spiritual awakening, yeah, I know there's reasons why. Been away long enough now to know. Done the work, you know. Done that healing, gone through that fire. Yeah, Leo season, we're in the fire, you know, fire. Leo is fiery, creative, energy. Yeah, done the work. I know this path, you know, still things that you can learn. There's always things we can learn. Nobody knows everything. But I've done enough to understand who I am. My soul remembers has returned. It's DNA level. Yeah, these gateways, I understand these gateways from these portals that pummel us, it seems now, doesn't it? Yeah, there's reasons for that, you know. So the Lionsgate portal, I wrote this down the other day, but then I've just done some more automatic writing because they told me to get a specific crystal to share. So if you follow me and you know that I work with crystals, you know, they're just not everyone's cup of tea, but they resonate with my energy, you know, and yeah, I've seen big transformations since working with them, and I was very much guided to them by my spirit team, as woo-woo as that might sound to some people. Guided to a stone? Oh, guide you to a stone? What's that going to do? It's going to do a lot, you know. We are crystalline. These are crystals. That synergy. That they our energy field, you know, the merge for our energy field. So it's that synergy. That's why you feel them. So I will talk about Merlin. Yes, Merlin's been coming in. King Arthur popped in the other day on one of my readings. Merlinite crystal. Connections, you know. So Spirit has a plan. So yeah, I put, can you feel it? Because I can. Very strong energy. And my light work friends, you know, they're like, whoa, what's going on? And we're all like, what's going on? Another portal, you know. And if you're a twin flame, if you know your soul, who you are on your soul journey, there's no way of not knowing, you know. So like, you may have heard about the chosen, the 144, the twin flames, the light workers, the light seeds. it's just a knowing, you know, they're just labels. But it's when you've done the work and you've had that death and that rebirth in your dark night of the soul, or your Kundalini rising. Everyone's different, you know. I had the Kundalini rising, twin flame awakening, and then the Kundalini rising, and then my death and my rebirth in my dark night of the souls. But can't speak for others, and I never would. All I know is that I've done the work. I do the work, and when you do the work, so my spiritual practice, then that remembrance returns. So it's remembrance, you know. It's just, us humans, we need labels to put to everything, don't we? It's that programming. It's just remembrance. It's that DNA remembrance that's being rebooted when you start to spiritually awake. So yeah, I do see 144. I am a 144. I know that. I know I'm a twin flame. I know I've got connections to Lemuria. I know all that because it's just remembrance, you know. But that's not all we are. We're multidimensional, so we have many aspects to us. So that's why you start to remember all these things that are returning to you, and you're a bit like discombobulated and dizzy with it all, and you're like, how many things can one person be? You can be many, and you are many, and that's why, you know, you get your labels like I'm a twin flame, I'm a 144, I'm a chosen, I'm all of that. That's because we're trying to figure it out, you know. The spiritual awakening path is a hard, confusing, painful, frustrating path of figuring things out. And along this, you know, you're not only removing layers of yourself, but you're uncovering parts of yourself. So you're going into your shadows, and you're making friends with your shadow. I decided I'm going to make friends with my shadow because I need my shadow, because that's the human, you know, in me. But, you know, by making friends with my shadow, then I start to heal, and then I start to remember I've got the divine in me also. So that's the human and the divine, and that's your balance. Melanite also, it's got a balance of 2 colours in it. So yes, it's all about balance. But when you know, it's not about calling yourself, you know, I'm a 144, I'm chosen, all of that. I know I'm part of the Mary Magdalene High Priestess Oracle also. I know I am an oracle. I know I have visions. I know all that because of my DNA that's rebooted. It's not an ego. It doesn't come from ego, because you balance your ego. In that death and that rebirth, a true spiritual awakening, you come out of that with a balanced ego, you know. That's what you're going in there for, to balance everything out and find the balance inside yourself of the 2 energies, the divine feminine, the divine masculine. That's what we're going to death and rebirth for, to uncover that. And then we balance it, and we're like, we're much more than what we've been told we are. Yeah, you're angelic. You know, depending on your soul journey, angelic, Lemurian, all this remembrance that returns to you, you know, from different levels of consciousness. When we start to raise our consciousness, then we start to remember, and things return to us, and dimensions and all of that, and it's very quantum. So yeah, in that quantum and in that raising your consciousness, you need to be grounded. And then melanite, perfect crystal for grounding also, brings in that balance. But I'm going to speak about what I wrote about the other day. So Leo season. Yes, I'm a Leo. Yeah, it's my birthday soon. Intense energy. Yep, I want to create, I want to manifest. Yes, I want to get on with my my leadership role, you know, and that's another knowing. I know that I'm here to guide others, you know, this new earth. And you know, many years ago, I got a download from my spirit team saying you have to go ahead. And I was like, why do I have to go ahead? But I knew others was going ahead along with me, you know, but I wasn't connected to them. Because in this spiritual awakening, you get isolated, and that's the purpose. So in that isolation, you discover yourself, you know, you're unlayering and then you're returning things back to yourself, fractals of yourself. So my remembrances was twin flame, also Lemuria, that very much came back to me. Mary Magdalene and the Rose connection, that's been very much, is very much, you know, part of me. I'm an ancient soul, I know that because they've told me, and also that remembrance, when you do it gets rebooted. It's deep, you know, so it's rebooting that remembrance of all parts of you, and then you start to retain it, and it comes into wholeness. So all these fractals of yourself, the remembrance, not the labels, the remembrance. So all my heart, my sacred heart, my unconditional love qualities, my angelic, yes, my Lemurian, my twin flame, all those fractals start to return, and then you bring them into balance, you know, and then you become whole, and you know you are. You know you've always been at this point, you know. So yeah, this portal we're in. Yeah, we're in a portal. I keep getting another code to do also, and it's like swirly portal. But in the centre of this swirly portal is a heart. So these portals, you know, we step into them. If you caught my last reading, Mary Magdalene was saying, step into the portal. You know, we need to use these energetic gateways, cosmic resets for our benefit. You know, not just let them pass by. Years ago, I would have just let it pass by and not known I was in a portal. Years ago, I didn't know I was a twin flame. I didn't know that, you know, I had a Lemurian connection. I didn't know any of that. But it's that remembrance that retains. It's part of your journey. That remembrance retains. So, yeah, I don't label myself, you know, because label, that's programming, isn't it? Yeah. So, no, I'm out of the matrix. I don't put labels on anything. I am just, you know, I'm just Ellie, and I'm on a spiritual awakening path, and I'm doing the best I can, you know, and I'm out of the darker parts of my journey. I know that because that wholeness, I feel inner union inside myself. I know that we are human and we are divine. This sacred knowledge that's retained to me, you know, I can't switch it off now. I can see a light bulb, you know, no, that light bulb's gone on and it's staying on because I'm here to shine the light for others also, you know. That's not from ego, that's just a remembrance of why I came here. I chose this. So when, you know, you say the chosen one, no, I chose to do this. I and my twin flame chose to come here to Earth in this timeline, to wake up against, you know, all odds, the spiritual darkness and the spiritual warfare that's been very much here and still here. When time was right, we would then wake each other up, and then we would help others wake up. First we had to wake up ourselves, and with that we had to reboot our DNA, and with that, that's your remembrance that retains of all the parts of yourself. So, you know, my connection to Egypt, my connection to all of that. Yes, I don't claim myself as a chosen one. No, I chose this. I chose my soul path. I chose this, yeah, I chose to come here in Earth's ascension to help others. That's it, really. And, you know, if you simplify it and not label things, it gets easier, this path also. Because when, at the beginning, when I was trying to figure it all out, and I was very much still unaware that I had the divine in me. No, I knew I was human. So I was still figuring it out, you know, what's happening to me? Why am I feeling this way? Why do I feel things and see things that others don't? And why do I feel like I'm going crazy? Yeah, had all that coming in at me. There's purposes for that, you know. It's what you need to push through to return that remembrance. So no, I would just say that I chose this path. That's as best as I would explain it. And choosing this path means choosing to retain all the parts of myself, you know, my soul essence, and join forces with the human, who I know I am, but during this path I remember I'm divine also. We are soul having a human experience. So that programming of me just thinking I'm human, I'm limited to what I can be, I'm limited to, you know, yeah, I'm attached to labels, all of that. No, I'm not, and we never have been. That's the illusion, you know, that's the matrix. But when that matrix starts to fall away, when you start to do the work, then that soul remembrance returns to you and parts of yourself. So you might hear, you know, many speaking of Mary Magdalene and the remembrance of Lemuria and Egypt. That's all different parts of ourselves, you know. It's all layers of our consciousness that are returning. Very dimensions, and you know, we're not just one. No, we exist in. Oh yes, it goes on and on and on. Very, very quantum, but yeah, I chose this. So yeah, and have I asked myself why I chose this sometimes? Yeah, I have. I'll be honest. Like what? Why would I choose this? Why would I put myself through all the judgments and the projections and the stuff that we go through on this path? You know, because we're the awake ones, so then the ones that are asleep are like, what's she on about? I would have been exactly the same, you know, years ago. I'd been going, what are you on about? Because that remembrance, you know, all I knew is all I knew. I was human and I was doing the best I could as a human. But, you know, I look back and I think, even as a child, something was always missing. I was always searching. You know, that's that soul ready to awaken. So, yeah, Leo season. Yeah, I'm using it. I'm using this portal. And if you caught my last two readings, I did something different, you know. So the healing that I offer, and the healing that my lightworker friend Chrissy offers, yeah, we showcase that, you know, because that's what we go through this path for, to heal ourselves, to find parts of ourselves, to retain our spiritual gifts, and then we help others, you know, find their parts of themselves and find their spiritual gifts, and so on and so on and so on. I mean, years ago I went to see a Reiki practitioner. I am now a Reiki practitioner myself. So my Reiki master attuned me to the symbols, and you know, it was all destined. You know, I look at the pattern now and I'm like, yeah, it's divine order. It's all that I've been sent to places and people, and it's all been a divine order, so I can find these things inside myself and get on my path. And my Reiki practitioner, yeah, I didn't think I would be a Reiki practitioner, but I am, because that was my destined path. So your destined path, you know, it's going to find you when the time's right and you're ready to wake up. It's going to find you. And if you've caught this reading, yeah, I also awaken others also. I wake people. So, yeah. So, I wrote, so the 8th of August, yeah. So that's the peak of the portal. So the 8th day, the 8th month, that's your 8-8. So, and then, you know, we're also in a year 1, so we've got 888, and the 8-8 is amplified energy, you know, on its own. The 8 also, the infinity symbol. Also, I've been getting karma coming through. Karma, chameleon. Love that song. That'll be my next dance, I reckon. Yeah. You come and go, you come and go. Yeah, it's like the twin flame journey. Your twin comes and goes. Will ever be easy if your colours were like my dream. Red, gold and green. Yeah. Yeah, like, yeah, so let's get back to this. So, yeah, I wrote So 2026 is a universal year 1 of new beginnings. So 888. So it's 888. And we have full moon, you know, and an eclipse. Yeah, got that other song in my head. Total eclipse of the heart. Yeah. Amplified energy. So create, manifest in this portal. It's pure magic, I wrote. This was what I wrote the other day, because I was going to come and do the reading, but got sidetracked doing other things. So, yeah, I'm feeling more intense connection, so to my intuition and, you know, my spirit guides, which are, you know, come full daily, sometimes more than once. Like I was just about to go out, and like I say, couldn't find my key, and they've had me dancing and all sorts again this morning. So the downloads come, you know, as they come. So I know I was meant to come upstairs, do this reading, pick my melanite crystal up, and the cards that I've got here up, you know, that's my intuition, and this portal, that's amplifying my intuition. So yeah, I wrote, so this energetic gateway, new beginnings, create, manifest, let go of the old. Yeah, so karma again was coming through to me. So my codes that I've channeled. There's also other things that have said to me that are my light codes, light language, ancient soul language. Yes. Karma. Yeah. This portal, like releasing things, you know, and yeah, but karma is very much happening in my connection. Can't speak for others, but I do feel karma is happening not just in my connection, but in many aspects of my life, you know. So yeah, so clearing out things, you know, so you can bring in the new. So karma, which is my latest light code I wrote, yeah. So balance, breaking free from repeating old patterns, yeah. So we need to release the old. So me and Chrissy did meditation, and just before we came on, we released what we no longer wanted to take with us into this portal, you know, because this portal, we're manifesting only the positive, you know, because that's what these portals are for. And to release, yes. So with that release comes in newer things, you know, fresher. So you're planting seeds, and, you know, sometimes manifestations won't just happen like that. I have seen manifestations happen like that, but sometimes those seeds that are planted takes time to grow. Some things that irritating me. Yeah, one of them days today. I feel irritated. So I wrote, yeah, karmic balance, bridge between the physical and the spiritual. Yes, melanite. I wrote on here. Well, I'll get into melanite in a minute, but yes, it bridges the physical with the spiritual. So I know why you wanted me to get melanite, you know, because I haven't worked with mailing for quite some time. But when mailing comes through, I know about it, you know, because it's a wizard, it's pure magic, it's alchemy. Yeah, the sounds. So I came straight back in. Didn't even get my bike out, didn't get that far. Came straight back in, picked my cards up, what I know I'll be using, did my automatic writing, got the automatic writing from yesterday, and went for this crystal. And it aligns perfectly for what we are going through in this Lionsgate portal. It also helps balance these energies out in this Lionsgate portal. It also helps bridge the physical with the spiritual in this Lionsgate portal. So no coincidence that led me to mailing. Love mailing though. So yeah, so spiritual and material. Yeah, and I wrote cause and effect. So karma, you know. Yeah, it's that cause and effect. I also wrote angel number 888. So infinite abundance, breakthrough of finances. Yeah, you know, so can't speak for anybody else, and I never would. Only you know what you go through on your soul path, what remembrance returns to you, who you are, what you remember of past lives. Only you know that. Nobody can tell you what you remember or what rebooted in your DNA through you doing the work, you know, on your spiritual path. Nobody. It's your path alone. So angel numbers. Yeah, I see angel numbers. That's the universe's guideline, you know. It's like a roadmap, I call it. Yeah, they're guiding you, they're lining you with your destined path. So 888, infinite abundance, breakthrough financially. Yeah, I feel this coming, you know, after 8 long years of hard work, building businesses behind the scenes. Not just one business, no, they say that I'm going to have many. Because I'm leaving a legacy. That's what I'm here for. That's why it's took longer. 8 years, you know. And we're 888. No coincidence there. And I feel that things are, that wheel's turning, you know. I feel that fortune wheel turning for me. And I felt it in 2025, coming for 2026. That's the seer in me. I can see timelines before they come, you know. That's the ancient soul gifts that have returned to me. Which is a bit annoying sometimes, because you're in a timeline of abundance, but it's not in the physical. You know, so you're like, come on, we're in abundance. And no, because when you see timelines ahead of you know, the manifestation, I'm like, well, it should be here. No. I know now that I see timelines. So I was trying to figure it out myself, you know. I was like, do I see things? But I should have known that, because I've done it many times. Yeah. So this portal, I feel like this is, because it's Leo also, and it's you know, it's, yeah, it's infinite, it's abundance, it's breakthrough, it's 888. It's powerful, energetic gateway that I need to work with, and I am working with. And yes, I wrote karmic balance, alignment of inner with outer. So yeah, what I've been thinking, what I've been speaking, now seeing the outer world. So as within, so without. You know, so my manifestations I've been doing during these portals, the eclipses, the rare blue moon, I'm now going to see in the outer world. So yeah, what I've been planting, I wrote here. So personal power, authenticity, sovereignty. Yeah, I know that. I'm authentic, you know, because when you've had your spiritual awakening, that's what it's leading you to, the authenticity of yourself. You can't hide anything. Others can't hide anything from you, because your psychic gifts and all of that are retained. So you can see through the veil, you know, literally. You see through your veil, and you can see through the veil of others, you know. So yeah. So use this portal. Very, very powerful. All portals, you know, we can use them to our benefit. So I wrote the physical, emotional symptoms that you might all be feeling. Spiritual awakening, you get ascension symptoms. I've had many. They've settled down now, you know, because I've learned how to ground, I've learned how to stabilise, I've learned how to work with my nervous system. Just at the beginning, it's all new, you know. I had somewhere deep inside, I had that knowledge, but it needed tweaking, you know. So your soul remembers so much, but I needed to tweak it. So I did the work, daily work, yeah. And you know, we're not about the labels, you know. I just chose this path, and I was a soul strong enough to know that I could come here and I could help and I could make a difference, you know. Not just me, but many are doing it. So who chose to come here? So is that the 144 who chose this? I don't know, because I can't speak for them, but all I know is that it feels very much that it resonates with my knowing of why I came here, you know, and it's to help others. First, so I had to help myself. Yeah, I had to wake up and remember it, why I came here, you know, because I was like, oh, that's why I came here. Got a job to do. Get on with it, Ellie. Yeah, so, yeah, fatigue. You could be having moods, so you could be 1 minute all right, next minute not. Lightheaded, yeah, I've been very, very lightheaded. Tingling, extremely hot, so very, very, and I know it's not menopause, you know, I am in that part of my womanhood, but I know it's DNA, I know it's energetic with me, it's that going on, it's a different level, you know. Sleep disturbance, yes. Dreams, body aches, heightened intuition, yes. This gateway intuition will be heightened. The worlds between the physical and the spiritual, that veil's thinner, so you could hear your guides, your angels, your spirit team, more intuition coming through, doing things that you don't quite understand why, but they'll make sense, you know. Yeah, I used to just wake up, grab my journal, and off I go. Start automatic writing. I'm like, what am I doing? And then it'd unfold the way it unfolded. And then I'd just go to my crystal cabinet. Or, yeah, it's like divinely guarded, like a puppet on a string. I liken it to. And then I'd understand what I was doing. You know, it made sense sooner or later. Yeah, so I wrote ground. Yeah, this light code here. Ground. Such an important part when we are rebuilding our DNA. Like I say, I can't speak for others, but I know I've rebooted my DNA. I've worked up those 12 strands of DNA remembrance. So my energy field, you know, it's like, gets hot. Yeah, I get like very, very hot, and my light work friend Chrissy, she's been saying the same. Ground, get out in nature. Nature also, my intuition just flows when I'm in nature. I can often go out for walks, come back in, and boom, downloads, because it's nature, you know, nature speaks to us. So yeah, you are adjusting to higher frequencies. So you could be getting ringing in your ears also, because I remember a year and a half for me, when I started to spiritually awake, it was like somebody had turned that dial up in my ears, and all I could hear was, that's frequency, you're adjusting. Thank goodness it's gone now, because it was so annoying. Yeah, so yeah, it's energetic gateway. Use it. So I'm going to cut it off here because it's 33 minutes, and yeah, trying to keep this short, but again, come out the way they come out. True authentic channeling does, you know, you can't put a time on it. You know, so I'm going to come on. This is part 1 of the Lionsgate portal and the Melanite crystal, which I'll get into that in a minute. I'm going to do a dragon reading also, because I was very much drawn to the dragons. Yes, I've got Mary Magdalene cards down here, so that's Rose message. I've also got the Lemurian deck also, so the Lemurians might want to even come through also. That part of myself, those aspects of my ancient soul gifts might want to come through and give us some messages during, you know, to help us in this portal. So yeah, going to cut off here, and I'll be back on for part 2.